CNN admits that immigrants are flocking to the GOP over, you guessed it, immigration. Gavin Newsom declares that Trump is a threat to democracy after deploying troops to stop violent protests. And Senator Josh Hawley is investigating who's funding these coordinated anti-ICE riots. And underneath all of it, a clear message. The American people are fed up. Welcome to Nelly Miranda. Before we get into this video, please make sure you like and subscribe, as it really helps support the channel. Now, let's start with CNN. Yes, CNN just dropped a truth bomb this week. Harry Enton, their chief data analyst, reports that immigrant voters, legal immigrants, have shifted 40 points towards the GOP since 2020. This clip is a little long, but bear with me because it's important to note how legal immigrants feel on the topic of illegal immigration, and I want to share my personal insight.
With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. So let's unpack that a little bit. The issue of immigration. How is President Trump seen as doing on that?
Yeah, if we just take a look at the baseline numbers here, this is Trump's net approval rating on immigration. It's gone up like a rocket. Compare now versus 8 years ago during Trump's first term. Look at this. In his first term, Trump was way underwater at minus 21 points. But look at this. He's up over 20 points. Now, in the aggregate, he is in positive territory at plus 1 point on his net approval rating. Some other polls even have it a little bit higher than that. There is no issue on which Trump is doing so much better than he was in his first term, more than the issue of immigration. No wonder the Times has written up the way that he is. Trump is begging for a fight on this because he knows what he's doing so far is working with the American electorate.
Where does immigration rank on issues for him? How is he doing compared to others?
Yeah, so I think what's so important is it is his top issue so far. And the reason it is his top issue is because take a look at the individual nuggets in here. Why are people approving of Trump on immigration, approve of these different immigration actions while Trump's administration's program to deport those here illegally? Look at this, 54% approval. How about agents searching your hometown for those that they think are here illegally? Again, positive territory here, above 50% for Donald Trump. So it's not just on the broad issue of immigration where Trump is doing well, it's on the specifics. When you dive into the issues, Trump is above 50% and his actions are above 50%, at least with those most directly connected to what's going on right now out in Los Angeles.
So Donald Trump, the president, picking a fight on this, and to an extent, you see Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, a Democrat, and the California Governor Gavin Newsom pushing back. So what do voters see in terms of their perceptions of Republicans, the president, or Democrats, say Gavin Newsom on this issue?
Yeah, the American electorate believe that the Democrats don't have a clue on the issue of immigration. I mean, you could just take it here. Closer to trust more in immigration, Democrats versus Republicans. Got 3 different polls for you across the board. They all tell the same story. Republicans lead on the issue of immigration. You see it here, CBS plus 6. You see it here, CNN plus 6. You see it here, Ipsos, even bigger, plus 19. No matter what poll you look at, no matter which way you cut it, the American public is with the Republicans. The American public is with Donald Trump, and to a much greater extent than they were in term number 1. And it's not just on the broad issue of immigration, it's on the specifics as well, in which the American public is with Donald Trump and the Republicans. And that is why Donald Trump is eager to take on this fight and eager for those scenes out of Los Angeles.
In 2020, they leaned Democrat by 32 points. Now in 2024, Republican by 8. So let that sink in. After years of open borders pandering, these communities are saying enough. They came here legally, they followed the rules, and now they're watching Democrats flood the country with illegal immigrants who get handouts, protections, and political power. This isn't just a win for the GOP. It's a wake-up call. Immigrant citizens want borders, law and order, and policies that protect their jobs and families. And finally, they're voting like it.
What do you think about Trump's border policy?
I love it. I'm 100% for it. As a Mexican American, I truly believe that we need to take our country back. When I came to this country, I stood in line for hours and days before I could get my green card.
Do you know anybody that crossed the border without applying for green card?
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, I have family members that did. Cousins, nephews, nieces.
Because those people might be deported if Donald Trump wins.
That's okay. That's okay.
You would be okay with your
I will
cousins
be okay.
being deported?
Yeah, I will be okay. They can be deported, but they can also apply to come back to the United States, but do it the right way.
And how long have they been here for?
Years, like 20, some like 30 years.
How do you think they would feel about you saying that?
Oh, they would be very angry. They are angry at me right now. They don't talk to me because I support Trump.
A little backstory. My father migrated here in the early 90s and worked 2 jobs until he retired. During the Biden administration, when illegal immigrants poured into the country, received free health care, food stamps, cash assistance, and housing, he would be justified if he felt a type of way. Imagine struggling, working day and night, following all immigration rules and procedures to become an American citizen. Just to witness, people can now just walk into the country like, here I am, and demand the same rights and provisions as Americans. I came to the USA as a small child. This place is all I know. I went to college, started a business, paid my fair share, and yet I can't even have a baby here in the USA for free or have free and reduced childcare. Even with private insurance don't cover you having a baby. And yet, illegal immigrants get to come here, get free housing, get assistance, have anchor babies for free childcare, and America tells the rest of us to go to hell. I don't even want to get started on the homeless veterans. Talk about a slap in the face. I can go on forever about immigration because 2 things can be true at once. I sympathize with immigrants fleeing their home country for an opportunity at a better life, the opportunity to work and provide for their families and feel safe. I truly, truly do. But fair is fair, and I completely understand why the pushback from Americans. Because no country on earth would be happy if millions of people stormed into their country demanding rights and privileges that they would have to pay for with their tax dollars. So it's quite disturbing that because it's the USA, some try to justify it and act like the American people who do not agree with this are bad people. Okay, the left doesn't like President Trump's tactics. They could be seen as harsh, and I get it, but I'm struggling to locate anywhere on the internet where a Democrat politician had a sound alternative or a sound solution in mind regarding this immigration crisis. If you have sources, please link them in the comments. Okay, let's move on. Let's head to California because when chaos breaks out in Los Angeles, what does Gavin Newsom do? He holds a press conference blaming President Trump.
Look, this isn't just about protests here in Los Angeles. When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation. This is about all of us. This is about you. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived. He's taking a wrecking ball to our founding fathers' historic project. 3 co-equal branches of independent government. There are no longer any checks and balances. Congress is nowhere to be found.
That's right. Governor Newsom accused President Trump of assaulting democracy for deploying federal troops to deal with violent protests. You cannot make this stuff up. These were ICE raids that led to protests. Then the protest turned violent. So Trump sends in backup to stop the looting, the arson, the attacks on federal agents. And now Newsom's response is he's outraged at the solution. This is what happens when Democrat leadership collapses. They ignore law enforcement, allow sanctuary city chaos, and then scream dictator when someone actually restores some order. Newsom's theatrics are nothing new. But trying to paint military assistance as a coup, that's next level delusion.
The rule of law has increasingly been given way to the rule of Don. The founding fathers, they didn't live and die to see this kind of moment. It's time for all of us to stand up. Justice Brandeis, he said it best. In a democracy, the most important office, with all due respect, Mr. President, is not the presidency, and it's certainly not governor. The most important office is office of citizen. At this moment, we all need to stand up and be held to account, a higher level of accountability. If you exercise your First Amendment rights, please, please do it peacefully. I know many of you are feeling deep anxiety, stress, and fear, but I want you to know that you are the antidote to that fear and that anxiety.
He just had the audacity to fake cry about our founding fathers not approving of what Trump is doing. Stop it. The founding fathers owned slaves that were brought here against their own free will. You think the founding fathers would give a damn about an illegal immigrant who just crossed the border and demanded American rights and privileges? Give me a break. That's gaslighting. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. Who's actually behind these protests? Senator Josh Hawley wants to know too. He's launched a full investigation into the organizations allegedly funding the LA riots.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley is accusing ICE protesters of dangerous behavior and violence. He's the chair of the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Crime and Terrorism, which has launched an investigation into the protests. The senator says they are planned events, and his goal is to catch those behind them.
You know, if you want to protest and break the law and disrupt things, we'll find a nice, quiet jail cell for you to protest in. And after that, we'll find you a nice one-way ticket right back to your home country.
Hawley says he has sent letters to organizations claiming credit for the protests, and he says he will track down where their funding is coming from.
One group in question is CHIRLA, the Coalition for Human Immigrants' Rights. CHIRLA. Okay. So they reportedly receive over $34 million in taxpayer money in California alone. Hawley's asking the right questions. Are these nonprofits using tax dollars to coordinate unrest? Who's paying for the transportation, the signs, the hotel rooms, and legal teams? And most importantly, why is the state of California handing over millions without accountability? Because these are not grassroots protests. They appear to be coordinated, protected, and possibly funded by organizations tied to the very system conservatives are trying to reform. Now, Josh Hawley is doing what every lawmaker should be doing, following the money. So let's zoom out. What does all these stories have in common? They show us the fracture between the American people and the political elite. The working class, immigrants included, want safety, structure, and fairness, but the Democrats, they're more focused on optics and activism than solutions. Immigrant voters are bailing on the party of chaos. Newsom's blaming the man who's trying to restore some order. And now there's an active investigation into whether left-wing nonprofits are fueling the unrest. We're living in a time where speaking the truth sounds like rebellion. But we shouldn't be afraid to say it, that borders matter, citizenship matters, law and order matter. And if that's a controversial statement in 2025, then we've really gone off the deep end. So let me ask you this. Do you think Josh Hawley's investigation will uncover where the money's coming from? And why do you think illegal immigrants are turning to the GOP after years of voting Democrat? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, if honest commentary brings you value, please make sure you like and subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.